to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists. Today is the final installment in our top 100 favorite films of the 2020s. It is the top 10 and I am so very excited. I am Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Well, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And we've been building up to this for a whole month, baby. It is time for the top 10. How do you feel? How you feeling?
Yeah, this is it's a long time coming. I'm glad that we can finally kind of just get it out, so I can watch these movies without feeling bad. But no, these were the ones that kind of had their place already, though. I feel like even with rewatches, they wouldn't move really at all. Maybe
easier than the last two parts, I would argue. Like you just know when they're at the top of your list, you know. It's the in-betweeners that get tough.
Yeah, so in a way, you know, it is still nerve-wracking to even just say these movies in an order anyways, but no, I rest a little easier, which is a strange feeling from like last episode. Last episode was a lot more nerve-wracking, I feel like, than here. But no, yeah, I mean, I easily love every single one of these movies. There's not a single one of them that if it was thrown on, I'm going to be like, oh, you know, this isn't one of my just favorite movies of all time on the screen right now. So, yeah, I have a very easy time talking about all of these. Yeah.
Let's fucking get it then. Let's get it. How about you ring me in with your number 10 of your top 10 favorite films of the 2020s?
Nope.
What?
I don't think I will. No, or it's just actually nope. I don't know. This is where Jordan Peele peaks out for me. As the sci-fi nerd, I don't know this and horror fashion. This is just a perfect blend of a lot of things in a movie for me. And every time that I've watched it, I knew I loved it off the first time, but then I find new things that I enjoy every time I watch it again. And in this one, it says it's only logged twice on Letterboxd. I know it's comfortably at least at 4, or 5 if I were to put a better number at it. And just every watch, it just kind of, it's like a fine wine. And I feel like that's a thing I will say a lot of times, throughout this episode, because a lot of these movies are watched a lot of times. And that's why they are up here. And I know that they're comfortably up here, because I do return to them so often. And yeah, this one is very easy to throw on, for me. I love just getting in another viewing of Nope. It's, I mean, as far as creating a creature, I come back to this every time I think of this movie. I think, is there another creature in any other movie that has a more beautiful or grand design kind of than Jean, or not Jean?
Yeah,
is it
Jean
Jean Jacket? Yeah, good old Jean. I don't know why I didn't think it was Jean. But no, I like the opening up, the ripples, the every different kind of form the creature has. I don't know, like in any Star Wars movie, I was trying to think of any Star Wars creature, and I couldn't really think of one, you know, maybe Shai Hulud, I don't know, but that's kind of more of like, they all praise it anyways, and I just can't think of another design of a character or just creature that I like more in any movie.
So cool.
But yeah, I love everything about the movie. Daniel Kaluuya and Jordan Peele stay together for the rest of time and just make as many movies as you possibly can, please. And I will be sat for every single one of them. And I wish, yeah. So, I mean, it's sad. I don't know. It's sad that it is down here at 10. I wish it could be higher.
I mean, it's the top 10, man. It's top 10. This is not. I don't feel bad about a single one of these. I'll tell you that. This is the first time in this whole project since probably part 1 that I don't feel bad about a single fucking spot. This is where they are. I feel confident about it, and that's that. Maybe with my top 2, but even then, not really.
Okay.
All right. 10, Nope. So you mentioned the rewatchability, and the stuff you come back to. I have 2 movies in my top 10 that I've only seen once, and my 10 is one of them. My 10 is Decision to Leave, directed by Park Chan-wook. This is one of my latest installments into the top 100. Got it in just under the wire before we started. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous movie. It's one that I considered pulling the trigger on for Cinema Surprise when we were doing it. I ended up going with Cure, I believe, which I'm thankful for. I love Cure. But Decision to Leave is a beautiful movie. Gorgeous, gorgeous photography. It brings the sort of film noir genre into the modern age. Lots of voiceover and layovers and all that good stuff, and it's all digital. It's through phones and smartwatches and all that good stuff. So it's definitely like I said, bringing noir into the modern age. It toes the line. Park Chan-wook is so good about towing the line between beauty and perversion. He goes right up to the edge of it where you're like, is this creepy? Is this weird? Should they be doing this? Without going over it, this is the premise is that a man, let's say he dies after plummeting off a cliff.
Okay.
Did he jump? Did he fall? Was he pushed? That's the premise, and it brings this police procedural thing, this femme fatale thing. They butt heads. They work together. It's beautiful. There's a forbidden romance. There's, love gets in the way, but is it in the way? Is it the truth? What's going on? Decision to Leave is a bizarre one that, will gut wrench you, but in a beautiful and weirdly positive way. Without spoiling it, that's as much as I can say. Decision to Leave fucking rules. There's this one split diopter shot, and I love split diopter shots. Where I think I've explained the mechanics of it to you before, but just in case for anyone who doesn't know, it's whenever someone places a lens like sort of halfway over an existing camera lens, and it brings into focus something in the foreground, blurring the background, and on the other part of the screen, blurring the foreground and making the background crystal clear. So it's this stilted sense of focus. There's one where they're in an interrogation room, and the two-way glass or one-way glass?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They put a split diopter on where in the reflection, one of them is blurry and one of them is focused, and in the foreground, the other is focused and the other is blurry. Oh. So they're literally stilted, and they switch back and forth as they talk, and it's fucking awesome. Like, genuinely exhilarating filmmaking. It's so technically precise and so beautiful, and Park Chan-wook rocks. It's not even my favorite Park Chan-wook, which is saying a lot, but incredible filmmaker. Decision to Leave rocks. Had to be top 10.
Okay. 9, this is the one that I feel, if I do feel bad for any of them, it is this one, and it is that I have only seen it the one time, which is kind of tough. And this is one off the end of a director's spotlight. This is I know that I love this movie and it is top 10, but I just haven't gotten around to watching it again, and I don't know why. And maybe it's just because it's a long viewing. It's the length. But this is where I have Killers of the Flower Moon. Good old Martin. Good old Martin Scorsese. I love this little man. After just seeing him on, or I guess his is it his granddaughter on TikTok? That posts
nope,
him.
That's his daughter.
Or that's his straight daughter. Okay, that's his actual.
That's straight up his daughter. Yeah, I mean he's a very famous rich man.
Anyway,
so it doesn't
matter.
I
guess
matter
that
how
wow,
old he
that's
is.
the
He's
first time that's been put
he's...
together for me. That's actually kind of wild.
Francesca's like our age.
Oh my gosh,
I think her name's Francesca. But yeah.
But man, just seeing him outside and just his normal life, and then the videos he puts on now is just hilarious. And then to see that he's actually just one of the goats. This dude, I don't know. He's just one of the best filmmakers, I think. In all of his the Spotlight movies we've covered. There's so many more of his that I have not seen, and he's already just in the top tier of directors for me. And then being able to be in the theater and see this one, it kind of was a movie that everyone knew was already good off of the trailer, and they already knew, like, before you even sat down, that you're like, okay, yeah, this is 3 hours.
Well, I'm about to watch a fucking magnum opus. You know, like it's beautiful, it's massive, and it's devastating. Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon won't be its last appearance in the episode. This is a repeat, one that I have not said yet, and I will say later. So I'm glad you're getting to it early. I appreciate balance.
Yes.
But
good old Marty. Yeah, he had
good old Marty. Can't go wrong with Marty. But yeah, I'll have plenty to say going forward. But
I figured as much.
Yeah.
I thought so. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I desperately need to get around to this. This is one viewing that I don't know. I do feel bad about all the rest of. But hey, off of that one viewing, it's up here. So
I've only watched it twice, but it's the only one in my top 10 here that I've watched twice. All the other ones, I think I've watched I think I've watched one of them 3, and then the rest of them are at least 4 times, which is crazy. Wow. I did the math, guys. Of the 10 movies here, I've watched them in a cumulative 56 times, and I've got 2 one viewings in here, which means that across 8 movies, I watched them 54 times.
Yeah, that's a lot of viewings.
Insane.
And,
insane.
My number came to 35, just the letterbox number, and if I add in all of the watches of one we'll get to, I mean, yeah, it's probably in the 50s as well.
Well, then I take it a step further. I removed the two viewing film, and it's 52 for 7 movies. And then I remove the 3 movie film, and it's 49 for 6 movies.
Jeez. Yeah,
which is insane. So yeah, and then that's where I'm not even gonna try to do the math after that. But yeah, all right. My 9, one you already said, not in your top 10, outside of your top 10. Only one of the only ones that'll carry over in that situation. But it is The French Dispatch, directed by Wes Anderson, from 2021. This is the peak of my 2021 films. Definitely my favorite from that year. So out of 2024, out of 2020, out of 2021, the rest of my list is 2022 and 2023. So definitely a good couple years. French Dispatch is one that's deeply special to me. I went to school briefly and majored in journalism. And just the journalistic integrity and spirit that Bill Murray's editor character approaches their writing room with is something that's a dream. And getting to see it even in a fictional setting just fills me with joy. If there was any paper ever that I could have ever written for, it would have been The French Dispatch. I fucking love it, dude. And like you said last episode, the cast is astounding. You mentioned that Timothée Chalamet and Frances McDormand's story is your favorite. Mine's Jeffrey Wright's. Jeffrey Wright and Liev Schreiber getting to act across from each other there, and then splicing in Saoirse Ronan comes in during that storyline. She's sitting in the room. She's got the bright blue eyes and all that good stuff, and the splicing in and out of black and white photography and color photography and the way that that's utilized. And man, I think that that's just a beautiful movie, and definitely one of the most Wes Anderson movies of his whole oeuvre, and only behind maybe the other one that I've got left in this episode. So The French Dispatch, deeply special to me. I love Adrian Brody and the Moses Rosenthaler storyline. Tilda Swinton, of course. Tilda Swinton actually in a lot of movies for me. We'll get to the actor stats later, but she's up there. She is up there. Lea Seydoux, big fan of her, of course. But yeah, Jeffrey Wright's storyline is the one I always come back to, and I'll always carry with me the editor's sentiment that was, no matter what you write, be sure it sounds that way on purpose. Make sure it sounds like you wrote it that way on purpose, and that's just a simple way of getting across voice, and I love that. So The French Dispatch at 9, love it.
Okay, all right, yeah, man, we're just in a great director zone here. I feel like is like that's what I come back is like, man, I just love this director. I love and this my next one is I think where I fell in love with this guy. I've always known that I loved his movies, but I think this one was what kind of what brought out the man more than anything to me. And this is where I have The Fabelmans by Steven Spielberg. Yeah, quite up high. And this is one kind of like Babylon, in which got me to think of movies in kind of a different way. But this one was kind of, even though we were on the sets for, in Babylon and everything, this one was more of like the love of making a movie, or just kind of, it takes someone who's completely obsessed, or at least this is how he came to be, a movie maker, is that it's just something that it's in his blood almost, that it's like he's just born for it. And I don't know, just from the first movie with the train, showing it in the closet, like every little moment that's in this movie is like I don't know how many moments of cries or tears that occurred here, but surprisingly, this is one I've seen. I know it says one time on here. I think it's only twice that I've seen this movie, but both viewings are just so strong every time. And I don't think out of Spielberg's movie, it's tough to say like what my favorite Spielberg movie is, because like E.T. exists, and I love E.T.
Raiders of the Lost Ark exists.
That is
the
true.
Last Crusade
Jurassic Park. There's
Jaws
and even Ready Player One. I mean, I don't think I put that on the level of The Fabelmans, but like, I mean, the man just knows how to make movies, and then to kind of get what I feel like is his most personal movie. I don't think any of them shine a light into his life more than this one, because and I don't know, and just Paul Dano's performance. I love some Paul Dano. Getting him not as the Riddler. He's one that I guess wasn't in the edition. He didn't pop up many times, but did very strong on his weight.
Probably two movies, and they're both both here. I'm with you though. I love The Fabelmans. Again, one I haven't said yet, one that will come. But it is another one that we did for Cinema Surprise. So that is, we also have an entire episode dedicated to that. We have an entire episode dedicated to The French Dispatch back on the Penny Bloom podcast. We're gonna carve through some of those this week on this episode. I got a lot of them. You mentioned Killers. We had a whole episode dedicated to that, like you said. True. So. All right. The Fabelmans. We will return. And my 8 is my last blind spot for you.
Okay.
You've seen the rest of my movies. And I had this at 7 up until a couple hours ago, and then I couldn't lie to myself.
Wow. Okay.
I want this to be higher, but I've only watched it once, and my loyalty to the films above it is but I do have it above The French Dispatch, which should speak volumes.
Yes.
So this is where I have After Sun, directed by Charlotte Wells, starring Paul Mescal. This is such a low-key and intimate film with brilliant photography, brilliant editing, an amazing performance by Paul Mescal that just slowly unfolds before you. It's a slow burn, It's a devastating movie, and usually whenever we talk about devastating movies, I'm like, like moms would love this. My mom would love to watch this because it'd just make her cry. She wouldn't even like this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that slow. It's that methodical and just inching forward. But there's something so eerie about it. You can tell we're building towards something that isn't good, and you don't know what that is, though. You know what I'm saying? You never really, and it refines, and it crystallizes, and when it crystallizes, buddy. I mean, credits roll. I mean, and in a couple seconds before, I mentioned earlier in the series, that last moment before the cut to credits. If you can make the most of it, it's gonna fucking wreck me. After Sun made me cry more profusely at the credits than anything I've ever watched. Like I'm talking coughing sobs.
Wow.
That type of shit. After Sun is so fucking good. It's incredibly moving, and I don't want to spoil anything. Just know that, like, I knew that the ending was going to wreck me. That's something I've known about this movie going into it. You know, like, everyone's like, man, Netflix, when it got put on Netflix, people were like, man, they're probably going to put it under some sort of tab that says, like, fun in the summer or something, and someone's going to ruin their whole fucking week watching After Sun. Because it is very pretty. They're at the beach, and it's all pretty, and it's all fun for a little bit, and it's a father and daughter, and it's a really sweet story, and it's like, oh man, but you can tell things aren't right. Things aren't right. Something's bad. Something's not going to go well.
No.
And so I don't even want to indicate to you what that is. But it's there was about 30 minutes left in the movie, and I mean, the tension's just creeping. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, oh my God, what is happening? What's going to happen? What is this? And I posted on Blue Sky. I was like, 30 minutes left in After Sun. It seems like everything's going to be okay. And a bunch of people liked it and responded and, thought that was funny. But yeah, After Sun at 8. It's a great movie, well worth anybody's time.
Okay.
Yeah. It's great.
Interesting. I mean, I like me some Paul Mescal. He's one up and comer. I guess only on 2 of my movies. I thought he'd be on a little more, but
same.
But no,
I had him in After Sun and All of Us Strangers and Gladiator 2 missed for me. So
yeah, there's but okay. One. I mean, off of that, I definitely have to get around to it now. I have to be in the know. I have to know what the heck happens at the end here.
And I'm sorry,
but yeah. I mean, that's okay. It's not.
No.
Fault.
I mean, like, it's well worth your time. I'm just in advance.
But,
like, it's.
But okay, you're putting me through it. That's okay. I mean, yeah. It's fine. It invokes that reaction. A movie. That's what you want. I mean, if it.
Yeah, there are a couple movies. There are a few movies above it. I mean, a lot of these where the crying is either more prolonged. There's probably technically more tears.
Okay.
But none of them are as passionate and emboldened as After Suns. Like, it's like, guffawing, like, oh my God, I'm going to lose it. Yeah. So After Sun at 8.
Okay. All right. Here, I'm getting my other earbuds in here. Forgive me for one second. But okay. All right. Wow. Yeah, no, I definitely... That is, out of all of them that we've said so far, like out of the blind spots, this is definitely the most intriguing out of all of them.
It is the highest.
Yeah,
that's it is.
Yeah, for a reason. And I don't know. Maybe it's a dangerous. Maybe this will put I mean, I've been having cough attacks unwillingly, and then putting myself through one might be literally No, I don't know, but I think I'll be fine. No, yeah, this okay. I'm very intrigued, but I guess I won't know until I know.
Yep.
But okay. Creeping up in top 10. I don't know. I didn't think how many, or there would be many that I haven't seen. But
yeah, only two, only the 2. But that is the top of them.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on here is one that we've definitely seen. Me many a times. And the Letterboxd number is an absolute lie. That's for sure. But this one is my top Wes. Is Asteroid City. We a build up like no other. I feel like out of every director spotlight, he definitely got the best treatment out of everybody.
Oh yeah,
just
we watched every one of them. Watched all the movies.
We happened to just go through all of them, and man, I could not have been. I don't know. I'm glad I went through all of them. And then sat, sitting down for what I felt like was he just being like, here you go, like here I'm gonna go, the most sci-fi that he'll ever go. I feel like, I don't know. Yeah. Who knows what's in the future.
God, that score is fucking brilliant.
Oh man,
the twinkly Alexander Desplat score is so good.
And just everything about
God,
it, the narration,
watch that movie again. It makes me so fucking happy.
I mean, I don't know. He has such a way with colors that, like, every movie has such a color. What am I, like a signature to it. I feel like this, like, just the whatever that white picket fence, or I don't know, whatever that's called. Just the sun shining through the diagonal cut, little
the polka dot
fence.
lighting.
Yes. Man, I don't know, just that, and then the very cyan blue, the teal, that's always in there. I don't know. It's just there's and then not and then there's the story as well that unfolds. That I think in the theater, I was like, I don't think I fully got it on the first viewing at all. I think I was
You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep.
Yeah,
you can't wake up if you don't fall asleep.
I was a little out of play. I mean, I'm not gonna. At that first viewing was like, what? I'm like, huh? I was like, wait, I don't know. I don't know. I know I liked it. I mean, I love everything that it looked like. Everyone performed well. I'm like, but wait, I'm not there yet. And then 9 watches later, or whatever, it's a little bit different. But this was a movie that I had a game called Astroneer that I just grind. It was like Minecraft, but you're a little astronaut that just sucks. I don't know. It's basically Minecraft, but you're an astronaut going from planet to planet. And a lot of grinding involved, a lot of just hours. And I would just put on this movie. I don't in the background and watch it just over and over again. So I actually truly don't know the number of times that I've watched this movie. It was on repeat. Like sometimes I would get through 3 watches of this movie while just playing the game. So it's crazy. This movie's it's a weird. It's an anomaly kind of out of all of them. There's the Cure kind of crack that that movie has, like a wanting to return. Asteroid City has been the one that's just been like, nope, it's on. Like it's and I'm watching. I don't know. It's just
I don't even know how it happened. It's on. It's on again. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I don't know. So love Wes, and but yeah, he's up here at 7. I guess the highest he could get for me.
All right.
But,
all right. Now this is tough. I think that even in a top 10, you might feel I've shorthanded this a little bit. And I thought we were building to the same thing. You said I've watched this countless times. The Letterboxd logs might even be wrong and all that good stuff. This is the movie that I've seen more than any other in theaters.
Yes.
And on Letterboxd. I've logged it 15 times. My number 7 is The Batman, which obviously we most recently covered in our Thanksgiving episode. We did a live commentary of the full 2 hours and 57 minutes. Long movie, a long one. But man, I love it. I love it dearly. The photography is insane. Greg Fraser does something so special with Gotham City. The production design is absurd. The costume design's even better. Pattinson's brilliant. Jeffrey Wright is wonderful. Zoe Kravitz is great. And obviously Colin Farrell. My most underrated performance by anybody in any Batman thing is John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. I think he was so incredibly good. And yeah, man, I just love everything about the movie. And I loved the marketing. I loved the movie itself. I loved the movie so much that I came back to see it in theaters 4 more times after I did the first time. Michael Giacchino dominated my Spotify Wrapped in 2022. Like, I mean, it was 1 through 10. 1 through 10 on my Spotify Wrapped top 100 were the however many tracks the album is. It was that many, and they were in order because I would just listen through and through and through. No shuffling, no picking out my favorite, just listening all the way. And that's what reminded me this morning when I woke up and I was looking at the list and then I heard the music in my head. I was like, I can't lie to myself and tell yeah, dude. Yeah, it's cold, man. Love the sound. It's a brilliant movie. So The Batman at 7.
Yeah, not quite building up to the same thing. I'll build up to it in a bit. But yeah, no, the Letterboxd, that is for sure a thing that is in common between us. The Letterboxd number, I don't think is, at least I don't know, definitely not right. For me, I know that for certain. I don't know the number of watches on that movie, but I don't really.
I'm like, I do. I've watched that movie 15 times. I was saying that because I know you don't know.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know. And I don't often like to think. I don't know. It's not often healthy to think about the number. Sometimes I think. I don't know if
yeah,
I
mean,
truly
like
would
15
want to know.
times watching this movie. That's 45 hours of my life I've spent watching this fucking movie.
And I don't care that I will never get it back. I loved every single.
That was 45
hour
hours well spent.
Gained. I have gained years on my life because of how many times I've watched this movie. I don't know. I feel like no, this is a fountain of youth, maybe, and I will watch it forever. And I hope it'll keep me young. But no, we will gladly return to the Batman later. But maybe the biggest surprise on my list, maybe. But I don't know. Every time I can't put it above any of the other movies. It just kind of is that way. But this is a Christopher Nolan movie, and this is where I have Oppenheimer.
It happened
for me. Really? We lined up?
We lined up. Me and you both have Oppenheimer at 6.
Yeah, and I know for certain there are 3 movies above it, or 5. No, there are 4 movies above this that you do not have above it. So it's awesome that we can hold just different movies and different levels of esteem like that. But no, yeah, man, it was another director spotlight we were building up to, and I think we did the man justice. We didn't watch every single one of his films, maybe but
no, we knocked out a few goodies though.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, and
damn, no, sorry, go ahead.
What?
No fucking shot though. No fucking shot. No goddamn chance.
What happened?
I'm thinking about other Christopher Nolan movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Am I losing my mind? Is this your top Christopher Nolan movie?
No, you have figured it out. No, it
yeah,
is
that's
not
why
my
I'm
top
losing my
Christopher
fucking
Nolan
mind.
movie.
Yeah, that's why I'm because that's bullshit. I mean, respect.
No.
Everyone likes what they like, and I love you.
Oh
and
no,
all
I
that.
understand it's not a better made movie. That is for certain. This
no, I know, but still, even so, like no, I mean Oppenheimer. I've got it at 6 as well, so I'll go on it a little bit.
Yes,
undoubtedly my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. By like a wide margin, including The Dark Knight and Interstellar. And I love those movies. But this is, I don't know what it is. I just think that when we saw this in theaters, this is one of my most sacred theater experiences. Because we were in a literally sold out movie theater.
Yep.
For a 3-hour historical epic. I didn't hear a fucking peep. It was the best theater experience ever. Like we were all there to lock the fuck in, and it was so nice. And again, the score is beautiful. Ludwig Göransson's brilliant there. The sound is unbelievable. Cillian Murphy earned that Best Actor Oscar. Robert Downey Jr. earned that Best Supporting. Like it's crazy how good this movie was. So yeah, no, like obviously, it doesn't surprise me that another Nolan film would be higher than this for you. But
yeah, barely. Barely.
Barely. If it's barely, we can bridge the gap if you want. If that's how barely it is.
Yeah, I mean it is 5. I mean it does come next, and it is the highest 2020 for sure. I mean for sure. And like you said, like yours peaked at
45.
Yeah, 45. And I was just waiting. I'm like, well, mine peaks a little higher. It's not until Soul that another 2020 for me. So it's like 34. But no, Tenet, is, I don't know. It is, whenever I was thinking about I initially had Oppenheimer at 5, Tenet at 6. And then I thought about it. And I'm like,
as any sane person would.
Yes. Yeah. And like, yes, as the movies are made, like Oppenheimer is just the better made movie. It's not even close. But like that. And that's kind of where my list shifts, is where now I don't really care about how the movie is made. It is how the movie makes me feel, and it's just I know that these are my favorite movies. And Tenet, at least over Oppenheimer, I can say confidently, the rewatch value is much higher, much higher for Tenet. And I think that like you kind of need that for Tenet. Like Oppenheimer, you watch it once and you're like, oh shit, I did just watch a historic epic. I know like that. Yes, it is incredible.
I know it all now.
But Tenet, you kind of need multiple watches. Like the first time I watched this, I did not actually like the movie. I came away acting like, what did I just watch? I thought it was a waste of time a little bit, and then I watched it again and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm like, oh shit. Like I start to, actually, like, knowing the story helps a whole lot whenever you see the things happen as they do. But then that was kind of the second watch of just having that satisfaction. And then having the what's happened is, or I always fuck up the order.
What happens happened.
What happens happened. Yeah. I always, it's just like a tongue twister for me. But I love the idea of this movie, and just it's more beautiful the more you watch it, and that's like kind of too meta for the movie itself. And it's like like Christopher Nolan just has a way with time. Like that's his thing. His thing is just time, and I think this is his most time movie that he's ever done. This is like his
it's entirely concerned with time. But that's what is cool is you're right about him playing with time a lot. Obviously Interstellar literally bounds and bounds and bounds of time passing without you realizing it. But to go back to my 6, Oppenheimer, your 6, Oppenheimer also. The way that plays with time and bouncing you back and forth and unfolding this narrative in such a way that you don't really, like, exactly where you are the entire movie, exactly what time you're in the entire movie. And to be able to pull that off when you're bouncing around as much as that movie does, it's kind of insane.
He couldn't help
the
it.
Hearings and we do multiple hearings that are like, one of them, the one that's like for Robert Downey Jr., is like years after the one in the little tiny room for Cillian Murphy. And that's years after everything we watch. And we do a whole build up to what we watch. And like all that stuff, like the way that it's all formatted, like, again, one of those ones where I wanted it to win and I'm glad it did win. Adapted screenplay was American Fiction. That's what I thought should win. This is one where if it had won, I wouldn't have been mad, because it's insane how it unfolds. And, I think that might have come down to the editing room, which it did win Best Editing, because Jennifer Lame is one of the best alive at editing. But yeah, so Oppenheimer at 6 for me, Tenet at 5 for you. I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense. That doesn't surprise me at all, actually. But it did take me a moment to swallow the pill.
I know, I think definitely just you like, maybe not that, like, how a movie scores, at least for me, like, it doesn't need to be as critically good for a movie to score pretty high for me. Like, a movie can be pretty dumb in, like, reality. Like, I don't know of the highest dumb movie I have. I don't really know if I have one of those, like, super high. But I mean, like, No Way Home is is 40th, and that's it's a Spider-Man movie, which, talking like a Spider-Man movie in some of these sounds kind of crazy, but like versus Oppenheimer, they're not even close. So like I feel like I don't know, my list just has a wide range of different things, but I think, like, up here is just, there's certain things, a movie just, I know it has it when it's just, I don't know, a feeling in my bones. And that's just sort of these movies, the top 5. And Tenet just, it has more of that feeling for me than Oppenheimer does. And like, I want to go back to Tenet more than Oppenheimer, I guess. I know what I got with Oppenheimer, and I'm right. It is 6. I mean, they are back to back. It's not like I'm I hate Oppenheimer.
And in a top 100, they are both back to back in your top 10. So it's not like you're like, oh, it washes Oppenheimer. Yeah, no, obviously. But all right. Got the Chris Nolan section down there at 5 and 6 for both of us. But my 5. One you've already mentioned, and one I'm happy to carry into my top 10 that you didn't have. This is where I have Past Lives, directed by Celine Song. Just absurd, just unbelievably moving, devastating and enriching, and I don't know, just, again, hopelessly romantic. I think that Greta Lee, I mean, frankly, I don't think she even got a nom, which is crazy.
Damn.
I don't think she did. She might be my biggest snub of last year, because she is so fucking good in this movie. I think it only got Best Picture and Best Screenplay. Yeah, those were the nominations. Didn't win either, which, all right. But Greta Lee should have been a Best Actress contender, I think, because she was just so fucking good, dude. The last moments again just really tear me up whenever she's on the walk back from walking him to his cab. Oh, oh man, yeah. And then the hug they do at the stairs and all that. God, it's so good. And you dream in a language I don't understand. That's one of my favorite lines in all of movies.
I forgot
all of
about
movies.
that
One of the
one.
best pieces of dialogue ever. You dream in a language I don't understand. Like that's so poignant and so pretty and so loving and understanding and empathetic. There's just so much about the movie that is so positive that I don't have I've never had a cynical read of the film. Everybody wants what's best for everybody, and they're in that state. And it's weird. It's a bizarre thruple, if you will. And having Celine Song write and direct this, married to Justin Kuritsky, who wrote Challengers. It's like, maybe I'll talk about something real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know not the last time we'll be talking about a thruple for sure.
Yeah, I figured
here,
not. I'm astonished we're rising this high, but
yeah.
Past Lives at 5 felt right. And I think it's a gorgeous looking movie too. One of my favorite shots is we're outside while it's raining, and the reflection of a crossbeam shines in the window, and you see TOU right there in the crossing. It's gorgeous. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so much great blocking and staging, and it's just so precise and pretty. So I love Past Lives. Got it at 5.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it is time for the other thruple. I don't know. This is where it landed. Right here. At 4. Good old Challengers. I don't know. It actually kind of surprised me of how low it was for you. I don't know. I thought it would.
It surprises me how high it is for you. I mean, even knowing how much we both love it, I would have met in the middle off a tertiary guess. I would have guessed it was around 10.
No, there's an electricity to this. I don't know. There's more than crack. I don't know. This is a soundtrack that I bumped this on, when I just walk to class. I mean, it's so easy to open my phone. I have it just as its own playlist so that I can just get to it fast and then just hit shuffle. I don't know, just hit shuffle and listen to the whole thing. But no, I don't know. Not just the soundtrack. It's just, whenever we did watch it recently again, it kind of was like, I did have it a lot low. I think I did have it maybe, it was always in the top 10. But I think it might have been 8 or 9. And then I watched it again, and I'm like, no. This is one where I'm like, I can't actually lie to myself. Out of the movies, out of all of these, there is a gravity that there is something that is making me want to come back to it more than other movies. And there's only a couple that I can hold above it.
Obviously, yeah.
But no, this is almost as high as it gets. I feel like the next movie is kind of where it starts a different tier a little bit. So I do find a little bit of a gap between kind of 3 and 4, which is interesting.
I'm more surprised about this being above Tenet than I am Tenet being above Oppenheimer, and I'm really surprised this is above Oppenheimer. So this is it's one of those where I am surprised by how high this rose.
Yeah,
but I mean, even so, I mean, it's a great fucking movie. That's why I can't blame you one bit. It's
every watch,
it is electric.
Just like Tenet. I don't know. Every watch that I've had, it just gets better, and you notice a little more things. I don't know, not become more crystal clear. I don't think it's that confusing of a movie, but it's just like I don't know, just with any movie, you're gonna notice just more things when you know the stories. I don't know, beforehand. But I think only 3 times that I have watched it, and that's, I don't know, it's all I've needed. Like Asteroid City. I mean, it's in I would think close to 10, real watches. I like the ones that are on repeat is kind of tough, but like it took like, I don't know, I feel like, and there, I don't know, ones that are later, like, I mean, tens of watches, like for some of these movies, but I mean, it's only taken 3. I don't know, 3 kind of feels right too, I guess, for this movie, kind of the magic number. But yeah, maybe, no, I definitely won't stop at 3. That's for sure. I will continue to watch it. And yeah, I can't, like, thank God this is who's in charge of Tron area, the new Tron soundtrack. Like, I couldn't be it couldn't be in more better hands. Like, there were some
match
songs,
made in heaven there.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Like some songs in Challengers, like I remember in the theater being like, this kind of sounds like Tron. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, I'm kind of getting a little Tron vibes already, which is kind of nuts. But no, I love this movie a whole lot, and yeah, every time it just has gotten better. And Zendaya, I mean, she's up there in the actors. That's like, for dominating the list, she's up there, and it's because, I don't know, she's in a lot of very high tier movies for me, and this is just the start for her, this episode, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, Challengers, it made its way to 4. I don't know, it was a little lower in the 10, but yeah, got the bump on the most recent watch.
All right. I dig that a great deal. My 4, as you brought it up just now, is Asteroid City. This is where Wes Anderson peaks out for me. I mean, again, going back to just the theater experience, I ended up seeing this in theaters 3 times, and that first time, man, that was just so special. Just sitting there. The Wes Anderson movie, bigger than I'd ever seen any Wes Anderson movie, right there in front of me, and Ed Norton coming on screen and doing the whole breakdown of what we're about to see. Off stage left, this, off stage right, that. The light will always be beaten down from above, high noon, and above all is unforgiving. I love it. Bryan Cranston's whole, this tale that I'm about to tell. I love the whole thing. I love the whole vibe. Wait, am I not in this? It's so good. Margot Robbie's little role is so brilliant. One of the more, I don't know what it is about that part of the movie that just gets me. Even the moments right before it where Jason Schwartzman's talking to Adrian Brody, am I doing it right? And Adrian Brody telling him, like, it doesn't matter, you're doing it. So just keep doing it. I don't know. I've always loved that. I need to go find some fresh air. He's like, all right, but you won't find any. Like, I don't know why it just hits so hard, and I just get it, And then when he steps outside and she can recite the whole thing to him, and the music is building up, and dude, I love it. And the fact that this didn't get a production design Oscar is a fucking crime.
Yeah. No. They didn't, they gave him the Grand Budapest love, but like, what is it wrong to just be the GOAT and like, I don't know, calling him the GOAT is
he's up there for me,
crazy, but like,
yeah. But yeah, it felt like Grand Budapest should have been like a welcome to the club sort of day, but it seems like it was an anomaly actually. Like, they're like, all right, you got your love, now you're gone.
Yeah, what the heck? Come on. You didn't, you acknowledged him now is like all it feels like is like that's, and that just feels wrong. But
yeah, Asteroid City, it's, if I'm honest with myself, probably my favorite Wes Anderson movie too. Just unbelievably good and gorgeous to look at, as you brought up. It is also where Tilda Swinton peaks out for me again. I mentioned Tilda Swinton earlier. Jeffrey Wright, Jason Schwartzman, all of them are Ed Norton. All of them are in my top 10 most prolific here. So got a lot there. But yeah, Asteroid City at 4.
Okay. All right. This one, it's big. And man, putting it at 3.
I already know. Go ahead.
I know. But it is not 3 for you, I would say.
Just do it.
But okay.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
It's everything everywhere all at once. So I'm a sci-fi nerd at heart, and this is sci-fi. Don't there is some sci-fi aspects here, for sure. We're dealing with the multiverse, we got that, but the others, I don't know. They're in a different vein. They're in they feel like they were made for me.
And it makes sense. This doesn't surprise me. As I said, I obviously knew going into it, but
no, I mean, it is still 3. What a beautiful movie. Like, I can't, out of the other 2, actually, like, this for sure, off the first viewing, got me to feel so much more. Like, I mean, I was a mess on this first viewing, and it was, I remember having the feeling of, like, I need to show this to as many people as possible. I'm like, it's like, I don't know, something in me was just awoken, but no, I mean, every watch was... After that, I think I've gotten 3. I know that for sure. I know 3 is the minimal number of here, and I don't know. I feel like it's been a while though, which is kind of crazy. So maybe it wouldn't be 3 if I do rewatch it, because the other 2 I just very, very recent. I visit them commonly, and maybe that was the justification of having them above. But no, this is just the a movie's good whenever you're like a mess and crying whenever there's 2 rocks on a screen and like they're just subtitles, like I'm almost tearing up just thinking of the movie right now. Like I don't know, it's so, I don't know, beautiful, and I don't think, like, I haven't really gotten a lot of Michelle Yeoh in my life, and it's kind of
you threw out the GOAT. Perhaps a bit hastily for Wes Anderson, as you described it. If I call Michelle Yeoh the GOAT, I fucking mean it, dog. I love that woman. Yeah. I love that woman. I mentioned Tar last episode, and I said Cate Blanchett's probably top 2 with one that I have. I would unquestionably put above her, and that was Michelle Yeoh. I think that's how highly I think of Cate Blanchett. By the way, I think she's incredible. But dude, I love this movie. So obviously won't be the last time it appears here in the top 3. So I'll take it away. I'll take it away whenever we get to it. But my 3, and this was tough. It's one that I never regarded. I never during the year regarded it as my favorite of 2023, but it felt impossible to put another above it when I got here. My 3 is Killers of the Flower Moon, directed by Martin Scorsese. Yeah. And I've watched it twice. I've watched Asteroid City fucking 10 times, something like that. Yeah, 9 times. I watched Past Lives 5 times, Oppenheimer 3 times, The Batman 15 times, all these ones that are right below it. A lot more times. There's something that just fucking sticks with you with this one, man. It's devastating and harrowing. But there's still a certain, I don't know, Marty's got a knack for blending the hopeless with the hopeful a little bit. Like kind of the damning guilt and awfulness that he depicts sometimes. He's almost approaching it from a point of view that's like, and I know we can do better. Even if the movie doesn't expressly say that, it's what it feels like, and I think that's interesting. Like when he steps onto the screen at the end of the movie and is like, there was no mention of their murders. There's no mention of the murders in the that's just like he's doing as much as he can with the voice he has, and I think that that's fucking awesome. Now this is the guy that I would not so hastily be willing to throw out GOAT also. Just brilliant filmmaker. And the fact that late style Martin Scorsese, his last 3 of his last 4 films, which I have seen. I haven't watched Silence with Andrew Garfield, Adam Driver, Liam Neeson, which is crazy because it feels like that's the one that we need to fucking watch. But 3 of his last 4, Wolf of Wall Street, Irishman, and this. You want to look me in the eye and tell me that's not 3 of the greatest fucking movies of any filmography ever? And they're like his 26th, 7th, and 8th movies? That's insane. That's insane. So, for a man to have been doing it this good for this long, it's crazy. Bob De Niro is incredible in this movie. If anybody had beat Robert Downey Jr., I would have had him. But Lily Gladstone delivers what is, I've mentioned this subject a couple times, my performance of the decade. I think that she is unbelievably good. A star-making performance that just is so well-deserved, and she does everything right in that movie. And I love the way it looks. I love the score. There's just so much beauty in the devastation in this movie. And
talk about a scream that stays with you.
My God.
Yeah. That
when they open the door and she just gutturally drops to her knees. Dude.
Yep.
Fuck. I've got chills just talking.
I literally just, I got the spine. Yeah. It went all the way up and down. Yeah, man.
Dude, I mean, she's special, man. She's so special. And, yeah. I won't forget this movie anytime soon. I think it is, in my opinion, the most important movie of the 20s, along with The Zone of Interest. I feel like those are two of the most important works of film in the decade. But yeah, Flower Moon, just unbelievably good looking, unbelievably gorgeous film for such a devastating subject matter. If you have not read Killers of the Flower Moon, you absolutely should. Also, great, not investigative journalism, but it's got a little bit of that flair to it. But yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon, have it top 3.
Okay, all right. Well, my last 2, they have been said before, and I think you know the order of them, but I don't know. I guess I knew the one that was going to be the one, but this. It's pretty much there. They're like a 1A and 1B, just how I'm feeling on a given day. But which one will come first? The one I did eventually put down lower is Dune Part 2 for me.
Yeah.
And man, the Oppenheimer theater experience it's tough comparing the two. It's those are definitely the top 2 theater experiences I think I've ever had in my life. Endgame is kind of a different feeling, and Infinity War for a whole different reason. But Oppenheimer and Dune 2 are just kind of, I will never forget those theater experiences. And I think for the movie, the theater experience was more important for Dune 2. Like that, the sound and the music and just in being enveloped into the movie is just so important. And I mean, I do still watch it at home, and I do still have a lot of enjoyment out of it. But man, every time I'm watching, I'm like, oh, what I do just to have a full theater set up right now and just blare the fucking speakers and just I don't know, like I love whenever I can feel the vibrations in the seat and like in my bones and everything. And this is like
I'll never like whenever the worms were approaching, whenever Shia LaBeouf was coming up, I'd put my full forearms on the armrests and I'd grip the edge of my chair and I'd put my feet flat on the ground because I was fucking ready. You know, like I just want to vibrate. That was fucking great, dude. Yeah, no, Dune 2. As I said at the top of the Part 9 episode, I rewatched Dune. We're on our way. I'm going to show Emily Dune 2 here before long, and I'm sure I will regret its 26th placement. I'm sure I will. Because goddamn.
It's a beauty. And yeah, Dune 1, it made the first movie better, which is nuts. And I don't know, it's like it doesn't really need it. I think I just didn't appreciate Dune 1 for what it was at the time. But after just being, learning the world and kind of knowing where things go, I think the actions in 1 hold a lot more weight whenever you know where things are going. And man, yeah, I think, but 2 just kind of does it at a different level. I don't know, just visiting the different planets, Getty Prime. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But just
Getty, something like that.
The white sun, so it's just all pure black and white. I don't know. I thought it was awesome, that we could go there. Austin Butler just giving in. I mean, oh my God, what a performance that he gave that. Like, I mean, just sick, crazed out. Yeah, just, incredible. Oh my God. And I love Timmy and Zendaya, at the helm. Yes, please. Challengers, it was up there, for me. I love Zendaya, but then, kind of having Timmy be the literal Messiah figure, maybe, I guess, I don't know how things are going, but at least for right now, he's definitely that figure and going to bad things. But and then Zendaya kind of at the opposition now, which is very, very interesting. Chani kind of, I don't know. I'm interested. I'm only 100 pages into the book. And I need to just know more, even though the movies are kind of drifting away. But I feel like I just need
still so worth your time to read the book, dude.
Yeah.
Like I rewatched Dune for the first time since reading the book, since seeing Dune 2, and since rewatching David Lynch's Dune. So Dune itself would have shot up my list. And Dune 2, I'm still confident is infinitely better. So it would go at least one higher than that. So it's crazy, but, yeah, the book is incredible. The adaptation's incredible. Dune 2 is great, man. I love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it got its way up to 2. But,
you got a thing for Greg Fraser, I see.
I do like his camera work. Yeah, I do think the man...
You're into the way his movies look, it would seem. But all right. Top 2, Dune 2. All right. My 2, and this was not my 2 for a long time. For a while, I had decided, you know what? It's time to move on. Let's accept it. But then I rewatched it, and I was like, oh, never mind. Fuck it. This is my 2.
Okay.
My 2 is The Fabelmans, directed by Steven Spielberg. And like I said, top 2 of the decade. Makes me feel so fucking deeply. I think it is a beautiful movie to look at. The only reason I hesitate to call it my favorite Spielberg is because I have stuff from him that makes me so nostalgically fulfilled, like Raiders, that it's hard to say that for sure. But it's definitely my favorite Spielberg in 40 years. How about that? It's
damn,
it's fucking beautiful. Gabriel LaBelle should be a star. I'm hoping the world for that guy. Seth Rogen is so good in this. Paul Dano, amazing. I love him. Michelle Williams, amazing. I love her. Judd Hirsch did an incredible job in the Best Supporting. He got a Best Supporting Actor nod for his brief appearance as the uncle, the eccentric uncle.
Yeah.
Even though I would argue Paul Dano is the best supporting performance in the movie. It's kind of insane that Judd Hirsch got nominated with him right there. But regardless, that movie now has one of my favorite... I mean, it has one of my favorite scenes of all time, where Gabriel LaBelle is playing a young version of the greatest director of all time, in Steven Spielberg. And he's acting across from the greatest director of all time, David Lynch, playing the greatest director of all time, John Ford. Now, to complete this, Gabriel LaBelle just has to become the greatest director of all time, But I won't put that kind of pressure on him. But now, in the wake of David Lynch's passing, what a special last appearance this is. He'd never, he wasn't on screen again after this. And he wasn't on screen a lot, but he did act. He did do a little bit of acting. And this was the last role he ever took.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm trying to look
I apologize. My AirPods died. Been on them a while. Shit. Where's my AirPods? Fucking.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to pause.
Okay.
And just the whole sentiment about how simple directing movies was for Ford, and knowing it was in turn that simple for Lynch also. Like, he just followed his creative gut, The Horizon's at the top. it's good. If it's at the bottom, it's good. If it's in the middle, it's boring as shit. I love that. I love how simple that. And obviously, you know, all three of these directors, Ford, Lynch, and Spielberg, approach filmmaking very differently. But it's that will always be very special to me from now on. Also, because I love David Lynch, and it's so cool that he got to act in a Spielberg movie as one of the greatest directors of all time, for one of the greatest directors of all time, as one of the greatest directors of all time.
That's true. Yeah, I have no reservations calling Spielberg the GOAT. There's there's nothing that's hard to say about that. Yeah, I mean, as far as like personal favorites, like it's him and Wes for me. Just Wes just has a lot. I've just seen all of his movies,
Right.
so that's kind of easy. But man, if I have, there's still Spielbergs that I have yet to get to. That I don't know, that like Schindler's List, I've just heard.
Yeah,
is
I've
like
never watched
just
that
a
either.
really, I don't know. I've never seen that. I still have never seen. Well, I've kind of seen Catch Me If You Can. I've never seen Saving Private Ryan.
Me either.
And so I mean, it's crazy that there's still more that I've to get to.
And
but
massive
I don't
movies
know,
at
comfortably.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, like huge. Dude just knows how to do it.
But
yeah, he's just
yeah, dude.
But,
I love
man.
The Fabelmans. I think that it is a brilliant movie. So I have it at 2.
Okay. Well, the tippy top.
What is
I don't
the best
yeah.
movie? Your favorite movie of the 2020 so far?
Favorite, yes. That is definitely the word to use because no, it is not the best made movie. Well, I'll say it. It is the best movie to come out of the 2020s, bar none. Every category that there is. No, it is no. But no, this is. It can't be any other movie. This is where I have the Batman, and I am so thankful that this Batman came to me at this. I don't know that I am living through it. That I got was this a. I think I was just everything was perfect. If this came out during like my Dark Knight era of my life, I don't know. I would not have appreciated it as much. I probably would have. I don't know. I don't know why, but I felt like I would have hated this movie. I would have been like, this isn't what Batman's about. I don't know. Just me. I was a lot different of a person. But no, this it's just, I hope in some way that it could just be enveloped into the DCU and this is just our bat that we got. But if not, then cool. It's the best standalone Batman there is. And it's only the first movie that's made. And I swear, I mean, they have to royally fuck up to not beat Nolan's Batman trilogy. I mean, it just with one more movie, they make one more good movie, it's already there.
I agree.
And I mean, this, I mean, I really like people comparing it to The Dark Knight. I think gives it credit. Like this is the first movie of the of his. So like if you're comparing anything, it should be Batman Begins in this, and there's no question there. I think. But I mean this. Whenever I saw this in the theater, I just knew. I was just like, oh my God, this is just one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on this list is the one that I can confidently say it is in the top 3 of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, I don't think I can ever settle on even one. It's just always a rotating 3 of Interstellar, The Matrix, and The Batman are kind of the 3 movies that I will always adore for the rest of my life. And yeah, I mean, the Batman is the newest one out of those. The only one that I've actually seen in theater when it came out. But so, I mean, maybe that holds a little bit, higher of a, I mean, maybe it elevates it a little bit, but no, I mean, I don't think, some days I even put it above The Matrix, which is kind of crazy.
Right.
But I think even right, I don't know. They're always in the top 3, but yeah, it's one here. But even in top 3 of my just all-time favorite movies, and I love Robert Pattinson. He's the best Batman by far. For me, it's not close. And I can't wait to see what is going to be done next. In any shape. If we're getting more Bruce Wayne, I would like to see kind of that a little more to see how he does, just as Bruce with the suit off. But man, I love the suit too. I mean everything about the art, the suit, the 7 inspiration. I don't know the inspiration of some of the shots, and just it feels like Nolan. I love him to death. He has Tenet and Oppenheimer here for me. But man, was this just Batman was tackled a little bit better here. Like this was more a better comic book movie than the Dark Knight was, I think. And yeah, I don't know. I could go on for a long time about this movie, I feel like. So I just have to cut it off somewhere.
We did do a whole live commentary on it just a couple months ago, which does help. If you want more thoughts from us on the Batman, it's in our backlog. You can go back just a few episodes and it's there. But yeah, man, this doesn't surprise me at all. I knew that the Batman would be up here. If you had gone with Dune 2 over it, I would have been like, okay, buddy, let's come down to earth. Think about it for a second. Yeah. I would have talked you out of it.
No, I don't think it was. Yeah, like Batman was always here. It was only like, is Dune 2 better? I don't know. It was always the one you had to question.
Yeah.
But no. So yeah, the Bat, I don't know, just holds a special place in my heart, and I know that the music, it's just I've been hearing it in my head the whole time I've been talking about it. Just the slow just build. Oh my God, it's just it's beautiful. But yeah, easy enough to do a full 3-hour live comm on it, and more. I feel like there's still more that I want to say about the movie, but we could
probably do a whole other live commentary, and it would be good. But
the Batman in reverse,
backwards
for whatever reason.
But
yeah.
All right, number one, the Batman, and to round it all out, to the surprise of nobody, my number one is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Now, I let the naysayers get to me, and for a while I was like, okay, fine, it's 2. The detractors convinced me.
All settled.
They convinced me, you know what? Maybe this movie's not as perfect as I think. Top 2 on the decade. But I rewatched it on my birthday, and that was the first time I'd watched it since September of 2023. So it had been a year and a half. It'd been a long wait. It was my 8th viewing of the movie. And I got to show it to my parents, which is always very, very fun. Because it was my birthday movie. I was like, I've been telling you guys for years to fucking watch this. You haven't. So now you're going to fucking watch it because I get to decide. And this is what we're doing. And it went precisely how you think showing Everything Everywhere All at Once to 45-year-old people would go. Now, they're also very open-minded. They also love me a great deal. So they like the ending, quote unquote, saved it for them. But I got up to take out the disc after we were done, and my dad was like, "Are you getting sick?" I was like, "No, Dad. The last 40 minutes of that movie makes me fucking cry." And that was so I was eyes watering and stuff. And I've watched this movie 8 times. I've spent the last 40 minutes crying 8 times. From the time Ke Quan, who delivers just a brilliant performance, when he tells them to stop after Michelle Yeoh has stabbed him, and he's gotten back up, and he's asking them to stop, be kind. He says, I don't know what's happening, but I feel like somehow it's my fault. And then after that, I'm done. The whole rest of the movie, I'm done. I'm fighting like you. I fucking love it. Stephanie Hsu is incredible. And Michelle Yeoh is pitch perfect. I adore this movie. It still makes me cry as much as the first time I watched it. And it's just deeply special, and I think that I lied to myself for a while and acted like it was 2, but then I rewatched it and I was like, oh wait, it's 1 with a gap. Like it is my favorite movie of the 2020s, and there's no doubt for me. So,
those last 40 minutes of all continuous crying, that's 5.5 hours
yeah
of crying like that. That's like almost 3 movies, you know. I mean, like that's 3 movies worth of actually just straight
crying, crying.
Mm-hmm.
Watching it through tears, you know, and they stop, but they continue very quickly. You know, and there's times when I've got tears running down my face, and all of a sudden they do something that makes me giggle. So I've got, and then I look fucking insane. But yeah, I'm easy. I'm a sucker, and this one taps into my emotions in a way that not a lot of movies have the ability to.
Yep.
But yeah, so it is my favorite movie of the 2020s. So before we just do a little extra thing, by the numbers a little bit, our top 100 by the numbers, go ahead and rattle off your top 10 for me one more time.
All right. 1, The Batman. 2, Dune Part 2. 3, Everything Everywhere All at Once. 4, Challengers. 5, Tenet. 6, Oppenheimer. 7, Asteroid City. 8, The Fabelmans. 9, Killers of the Flower Moon. And 10, Nope.
All right, my 1, Everything Everywhere All at Once. 2, The Fabelmans. 3, Killers of the Flower Moon. 4, Asteroid City. 5, Past Lives. 6, Oppenheimer. 7, The Batman. 8, After Sun. 9, The French Dispatch. And 10, Decision to Leave. Now we are going to do a by the numbers. What this is that we've done a little math. All the actors that appeared on our list, we've got a top 10 for the most prolific actors of the 20s. We got a little algorithm going. I won't explain all of it. It's ridiculous. A little algorithm going that for every movie they appeared in, they get a certain amount of points and so on and so forth. So our top 10 actors of the 2020s, this will be much briefer. We're just going to go rattle them off. It won't even be that big of a deal. But I also have directors and by the year, so I'll get into that in a second. But what I will tell you is about our Cinementalists giveaway before we get into that. So we are giving away a Criterion Collection Blu-ray copy of both Certain Women and Paris is Burning, both brilliant movies that you deserve to be able to watch for free at home in the comfort of your of your own devices and all that good stuff. So I'm willing to give them to you. You just gotta follow the rules of the giveaway. You also have the chance to win a $50 Letterboxd patron membership for 1 year. I'm willing to pay for that for you. So got that coming up. What I'm gonna ask of you is to go to Blue Sky, the premier Twitter alternative. I'm officially off Twitter. Go to Blue Sky at Colton Robertson. Now what you're gonna do there is check out my pinned post. My pinned post will tell you all the details, but I'll break them down here for you. You want to subscribe on YouTube. That is the first step. Subscribing on YouTube will guarantee you an entry. Now, I have somebody who's already hit me up. I don't use YouTube. I deleted YouTube. I don't have a YouTube account. We can work something out. We'll subscribe somewhere else, all right? We'll figure it out. But YouTube is where I want you to subscribe ideally. I will just work with you if you can't. Then you have to download an episode wherever you might listen. Oh, you don't have the means to download? Hit me up. I have a direct-to-download link. We'll be okay. We can figure it out. So those are the two. You do those two things, you're entered. That's it. Now on that post, there's a bunch of caveats. If you like and repost that post, you get an additional entry. If you respond and tag somebody, you get an additional entry. And the big one, every download you do for the Cinementalists will get you an additional entry. We have somebody with auto downloads on. We have 40 episodes. They're cooking everybody else right now. You better get on it. So get over there. The Cinementalist giveaway. All the details on Blue Sky at Colton Robertson, but I just gave you all the instructions. Subscribe on YouTube, download an episode, send me proof. That's all I need is you to send me proof. If you just do that, I won't have any way of knowing that you did that, okay? You have to show me that you did that. And the ideal way, Blue Sky. If you need to comment on YouTube, if you need to hit us up some other way, I don't know, figure it out. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the by the numbers. Now, the top 10 actors of the 2020s. I've got a few that fell just outside. Those were Josh O'Connor, Dave Bautista, Colin Farrell, Zendaya, and Charles Parnell. Those are kind of my top 5 that were right outside. With 23, 22, 22, and 21. That's our arbitrary point system for those not in the know. The higher, the better. That's what I'll say. I won't get into all the details.
Yeah.
But go ahead and give me your 10 through 6. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 real quick.
Yeah. All right, 10. Arbitrary points starting off at 30 for me at 10. But I had Jason Schwartzman at 10 with 30 points. Margot Robbie after him with 31. And then Ed Norton with 32 and Florence Pugh with 32. But I put Florence Pugh above Ed Norton for the strength of movies that she was in, above Ed Norton. And then to top off 6 here, Batista with 34 points for me. So,
all right, beautiful. Mine are Ed Norton also. Arbitrary point system, he had 26. That's my floor. Next up, Anya Taylor-Joy, also 26. And now those two were both in 4 movies on my list. I've got 2 more with 26 that were only in 3, so they're both higher. And those are Barry Keoghan, he got 26, and Leah Seydoux, who got 26.
Okay.
And then to round out the bottom 5, Jason Schwartzman had 28. So Jason Schwartzman and Ed Norton in common so far. Now give me your top 5.
Okay. 5, I had Zendaya and Jeffrey Wright were both tied at 35. Jeffrey Wright was only in 4 movies. Zendaya was in 5, so I gave Jeffrey Wright the edge there. And then coming after, I had Anya Taylor-Joy up here at 3rd for me. She had 40 points. And then good old Timothy Chalamet coming in 2nd for me, which was a surprise, with 46 points. And then the king, the unsung, I don't know, I wouldn't have thought it, but he did it. Good old Willem Dafoe. Coming in with 47 points, 1 more point than Timmy.
Beautiful.
But he dominated.
The GOAT,
list,
Willem Dafoe. Yep, not his last appearances. I have him right here on the cusp as well, but Margot Robbie is at 6. She tied Jason Schwartzman with 28, even though she was in 1 more film than he was in my top 100. Willem Dafoe at 4 with 33 points, appearing in 5 movies. Jeffrey Wright at 3rd with 35 points. 3 of which are in my top 10, which deserves a special shout out. He's in Asteroid City, The Batman, and The French Dispatch. So he's the only one with 3 10s. Something to be said there.
Damn.
Timothy Chalamet is 2nd, appearing in 5 films and scoring 37. And Tilda Swinton is my top.
Wow.
With 40 points, who I would not have guessed that either, but she's in 2 10s, an 8, a 7, and a 5. So, but yeah, so those are the actors. I had 11 directors that appeared more than once, which is cool. The only one that fell outside my top 10, according to our arbitrary point system, is James Gunn, because most of these guys only had max 2. Most of these people had 2 movies, not more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at the bottom, Pablo Larraín for Spencer and Maria got 6 points. Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things and Kinds of Kindness got 8. Emma Seligman got 10 for Shiva Baby and Bottoms. M. Night Shyamalan got 12 for Trap and Knock at the Cabin. Denis Villeneuve for Dune and Dune 2 got 14. Ryusuke Hamaguchi got 15 for Drive My Car and Evil Does Not Exist. Chris Nolan tied him with 15 for Oppenheimer and Tenet. And then my top 3, Luca Guadagnino, 17 for Challengers and Bones and All. Steven Spielberg, 19 for Fabelmans and West Side Story. I believe that's actually 18, Steven Spielberg for Fabelmans and West Side Story. And Wes Anderson, 20 for 2 top 10 movies with Asteroid City and French Dispatch. And then lastly, by the numbers, 2023 was far and away my biggest year by the literal numbers of the top 100. 2023 had 38 of my 100 movies.
Damn.
2024 had 22. 2022 had 21, and 2021 had 11, while 2020 had 8.
Man, yeah, that's, I don't know, 2023. That is I don't know. I had 38 as well. That is like a very good, I don't know, very, very good year.
Yeah.
And I feel like A lot of those are not low either. Like they are.
No, I did the point system for the year also.
Oh damn.
And 2020 put up 39 points for 8 movies, not bad. 2021 62 points. 2024 nice. 106 points. 2022 138 points.
Damn.
And then 2023 217 points.
Yeah. Power ranking. Yeah. This is just like power ranking numbers, and 2023 was a power year. Yeah. That's a great, man. That's a good split. I don't know. Kind of the stats breakdown of these is really cool. I'm glad. Really I'm very glad Letterboxd. Did I don't know. Made this a lot easier on us by doing a little bit of the work first.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I have a lot of 2 director films, but the one director to direct 4, and it was Ridley Scott. Gladiator, House of Gucci, Napoleon, and The Last Duel.
Yeah.
All were on mine. So the only one to have 4, no 3. It's just 4, and then everyone else is 2 or 1.
I had 11. I had 11 directors direct 2 films, and that was it. They're all 2. Mm-hmm. Nobody appeared more than twice. But yeah, Ridley Scott's been prolific.
I don't think Ridley Scott's 4 movies are enough to get him above Christopher Nolan's 2 top 10 movies that he has, which is, I don't know, that's kind of funny. 20 points. Let's see. He did. Yeah. I mean, he's either right there. He's either first or second with Nolan. But man, that's man, what I don't know. Crazy 2023 though. That's I guess the year to look at, or I don't know, to look back on.
Special year. But all right, that's our top 100. If you're checking out just this, we got a lot more movies you can check out, a lot more episodes, but we are going to be officially diving back into movie coverage next week. We are back with Nope, which did appear in this top 10. We are back with Nope on February 7th, keeping the ball rolling on Valentine's Day with If Beale Street Could Talk. Then Alma's Rainbow on the 21st, and rounding out the month with Sorry to Bother You. So that's the next month of content for you. Watch some good-ass movies with us. Stick with us, and we've got a huge backlog. Our giveaway ends on March 3rd, the day after the Oscars. We're going to have a little post-Oscars episode, talk through it a little bit, talk about results and all that good stuff. And that'll be that. So that's when we'll announce the winners. But, yeah. Leave a 5-star rate and review. Download wherever you might be listening. We appreciate you a great deal for being here. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, go watch some good fucking movies like The Batman and Everything Everywhere All at Once and Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon and all the good shit. Just watch all of it. Fuck it.